guys, welcome back to another installment of our Every Room is a Different Pack challenge. And today we are working on the absolutely massive dining room. And as you can see, we got the toddler pack. You can feel my soul dying at this point, but I have taken on the challenge of Strangerville. I have taken on the movie stuff pack in a study that doesn't look like the movie stuff pack, but feels like it. So I'm confident I can do this. But I have no idea how I was going to do it at this point. Like, I decided to, keep the rugs. We could do some teals and greens. Then it still fits in with, like, the jewel tones if we do, like, a really vibrant teal. I was struggling with the flooring. I didn't really want to do carpet because it's a dining room, but I did want something different, especially since it is a toddler pack. You don't want hard wooden floors for toddlers, so that's why I was like, that was my reasoning behind making that room have carpet. I'm just trying to find something teal in this room. I settled on the same wall, but different color. I added a door, obviously, and then I was trying to find windows that I didn't hate. And I decided I wanted floor-to-ceiling windows, kind of like you see them in New Orleans, where they have like shutters and they open up. I think they're veranda windows. I don't know. That's what I wanted to go with. And we're keeping to the same color. Again, everything's white, so it kind of goes. Yeah, and at this point I'm like, what do I do? So I was just kind of picking out base game stuff. Just anything, really, that I thought might work. I definitely wanted to make sure that it was a toddler-friendly room at that point. And I'd already decided that they had kids, but I hadn't really thought about, like, the ages of the kids, so this really decided for me that they were going to have a toddler. I was trying to find anything that would be teal, and it was a struggle. The struggle was real. And I think I settled on that chair, and then I was just kind of trying to find other pieces of furniture to go in this room, because it's so big. And I'm just grabbing, like, the biggest dining tables that there are. I ended up getting rid of the glass ones pretty quickly because they're not super toddler friendly. I was just trying out different recolors. That one, I knocked it out. I kind of liked that one. I was testing out recolors of the chair. Yeah, I'm testing the glass ones, but I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense. So this is the table I ended up going with. And then I plopped down a bunch of chairs. I don't really like putting chairs on the end when the table's like that, but I wanted to make sure there was enough chairs. And I chose that little modern high chair with kind of the yellow and the green. I really didn't know what I was doing at this point. I'm like, maybe like they can have a high board or something like that, because there was just a lot of open space. And once I set that little round end table, that's when I kind of was thinking maybe I could do like a kid's space down here, because we really only have the study and the formal dining room, but I wasn't sure. And then I was messing around with the shelves. Spoiler alert, I definitely got rid of them. I thought it looked cool, but it just didn't go with the room. The colors were wrong, and it didn't look right. I wanted shelves, but you gotta concede. If it's not working, just get rid of them. So that's what I did. But yeah, I was like, let's have a toddler space. Let's have like a little bit of a play space, because if you're down in the kitchen or you're in the study, you don't want your toddler upstairs by themselves, where they can A, get into trouble, and B, might get hurt. So I decided the other half of the room would just kind of be a fun little toddler area that they could play in while everybody else was downstairs, so they're still kind of being observed. Because you can see, if you're in the living room, you can see into the dining room, and it's near enough to the study and the kitchen that you would hear. But I also wanted to make sure there was like a seating area, because if they invite their friends over with other toddlers, they're gonna sit and chat in this room. I love that chair, by the way. That's my favorite chair in the game. Like, hands down. It's the best. No, I don't accept criticism. So yeah, I wanted to include that big play place thing, because it is very kiddie. It does kind of match. This room's a little bit more fun, a little bit more vibrant than the other rooms, but I don't mind that. I wanted to include some more yellow. I definitely wanted to keep those pandas because it's really the only kind of decor piece that came with that pack that I could use. But it was a struggle. This whole thing was a struggle. And I decided to have that little gnome there because I just thought it was cute. And it kind of goes with the cutesy vibes. Trying to see what else, where I went next. I wanted to have a bookshelf. Like I said, I just really wanted this to be a toddler-friendly space. But then I needed to do the other side of the room, and I had no idea what I was going to do for that, because it just looked so empty in comparison. Like, I was really happy with how the toddlers looked. I was not at all happy with how this looked. So I was like, maybe a hutch, something like that, but I was just like, that's not super toddler-friendly to have a hutch. And I also, again, couldn't remember the stupid cheat to put them right next to each other, so I hated the space in between. So I started going for plants while I kind of rethought what I was going to do. I was looking for inspiration. So just grabbing plants, of course. I liked the sunflowers, and I think the other one's possibly daisies, because again, they're yellow. I've had pops of yellow in this room, so it made sense. I'm just kind of adding plants at this point. Because when all else fails, just chuck a bunch of plants in there. It's fine. Plus, it looked like plants that maybe kids had picked for their parents. So I was trying to pick out wall art for this. It was, again, really challenging, because I was trying to go with what I'd done in the other room of, like, fancy art, but it was also needed to be kind of kiddie. I really liked that painting, and I also liked that cat painting, because it's very silly. I was just kind of putting landscapes down, because I didn't know what else to do. I put another one of those tapestry painting things down. But yeah, this didn't feel right. It didn't feel finished. It felt like an awkward, weird space, so I was just looking for anything. And I was looking for curtains, and I didn't like anything that fit on them. It's a running theme. So I decided, no curtains. We don't need curtains. It's a dining room. It's fine. This is me just chucking a ton of clutter into the corner and been like, okay, let's try to use all of these things. I started liking the gnomes because I already had the one gnome, and I'm like, that's kind of whimsical and playful, and that tree kind of looks like a gnome's house. So I was like, maybe that's what they decorated around. This is like a gnome forest. I don't know. I kind of thought about a fireplace for a minute, but it wasn't working. It was, no. I wish that it worked, because that wall would have looked better, but it wasn't working. So back to the drawing board, me chucking a bunch of stuff kind of everywhere. It still didn't feel quite cohesive, because it felt like two distinct separate places, and I didn't want that. I wanted it to look like the same room. And that's when I found this. And it looks like a lot of found objects, or maybe things that children would have picked out that they thought were interesting, and then the parents built shadow boxes, so that's why I ended up going with that. I just think it's really neat anyways, but like that stuck in my brain is, these things might not be worth any money, but maybe the kids found them and they put their favorite things in there. So yeah, I'm just trying to grab a little bit more clutter. It's starting to look more together. I'm bringing kind of the child whimsy to the dining portion. And I'm trying to bring a little bit more class over to the children's section, or not so much class, but like that travel culture thing that I've been going for, kind of in the rest of the house. I really liked the flamingos. I don't know why, but I think it started with the gnome, and then I'm like, why not? Let's just have indoor flamingos. It's fine. I was grabbing that stuff over there because I knew I wanted to include it. And then I was really mad that it wouldn't go on the end table, or the coffee table. I was trying to find like an end table or something, like to display things. Went with yellow. Put the little boat. But of course I had to move everything over. put that antique kind of camera. Brought the word camera for a minute. Cool. And we're just about done here. I don't think I do. I think I just do lighting, and I do those cloud lamps because they're very whimsical and it fits in with what I've done in the rest of the room. And we're pretty much done with the dining room. Definitely let me know what you think if I managed to capture toddler stuff in a dining room, because it was hard. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.